Okay.
Right. I think we're recording. All right. I need you to go ahead. What do you got?
Okay. Yeah. Good day, everyone. So just to give a short overview, can I share my screen? Hopefully the network Discord will be good.
Yes, it looks like it's working.
Um, everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So a short one. The presentation is the messaging feature on the Live Pioneer app. An open communication for delegator and orchestrator. So just a quick overview. This feature is an RFP of the Life Background Committee, and about September last year, um, I and two other developer, Sean and Liam from Life Pioneer, started working on the feature of implementing a direct open um, communication channel for delegators and orchestrator and the LivePair ecosystem. And the approach we came up with was to implement using a blockchain protocol called SMTP, which stands for Extensible Messaging Transfer Protocol, I believe. And the problem we notice is what you can see here, a lack of real-time communication between orchestrator and delegator, and um, delegators having issues of making informed staking decision and orchestrator lacking efficient way to engage with their delegator. So the feature we implemented, it's a messenger on the Live Pioneer app. It was originally going to be on the Live Pair Explorer, but um, the committee decided to have it tested, like built in on the Live Pioneer app and tested there before considering any migration to the Live Pair Explorer website. So yeah, I'm going to be showcasing a video and I'm going to speak as the video plays. So I hope you guys don't mind.
No, go ahead. We're looking forward to it.
Okay. Eh, can everyone see the video play?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so the feature is a real-time Web3 wallet-to-wallet messaging system. So it's a messenger that works with wallet connection. It's just sending message in real time between two wallets. So this is a video showcase of how it's used. So it has the following feature. Just to break down the feature, it supports Web3 messaging. You could send text, you could send images, you could send video, you could send reactions to messages. Another feature is message broadcasting. This is a feature we think the orchestrator will find very useful. We allow orchestrator to broadcast messages to all its subscribed delegator. So if any of your delegators subscribe to you as an orchestrator, you could broadcast an announcement to them. For example, if your node will be going inactive for a certain period of time, you could just broadcast an announcement, a one-time announcement that reaches all your delegator to keep them informed. If you're changing your reward cards or changing your fee cards, you could just broadcast it at one time. So we have a orchestrator subscription portal where these delegators can follow and receive these updates from. We also have a consent management system to prevent spamming. So a user can allow and block messages from unwanted addresses. So the benefits this feature has to LivePay is that delegators are, I won't say they're not so active on the Discord, which is where majority of discussion on protocol development and etc. happens. So what this messenger does is that it gives direct communication between delegator and orchestrator. So delegators can just ask their orchestrator questions on whatever is happening on the LivePair ecosystem, and all these messages are end-to-end encrypted, so you don't have to worry about leak or anything of such. Also, yeah, orchestrator can affect can give direct support, provide updates and whatnot. Also, spoken about the portal, but you could see putting in some address and send broadcasting a message for everyone to see at once. So this feature is something we find very useful because at this point we don't have inactive node and orchestrator losing rewards on stake because the node is not active. They could migrate their stake to a performing node at this time. So how to get started? You need a wallet, a Web3 wallet. So you need to get MetaMask or get Rainbow wallets on or any Web3 wallets. You visit the Life Pioneer website. I'll share the link after. You connect your wallets and you just start messaging. You add so you sign some signature using SMTP to secure your keys and all. You add a wallet, the wallet you want to send a message to, and you just send and yeah, send your message and you start communicating with whoever. So yes, so I'll take questions now, and I'll also send put the link to the website to the app on the chat.
Yeah, I had a quick question. You said that originally this you were going to integrate this into the Explorer, but then you decided to put it on Live Pioneers. I didn't catch what was the reason for that because I think it sounds like everyone
Oh,
would like to see this on the Explorer.
okay. Yeah, the committee wanted to, they were not sure of making such a big change on the Explorer yet. So they wanted to test the impact of this feature on a app that will be very relevant to the ecosystem, which is the Life Pioneer app. So this is just a testing ground for it.
Okay.
And if it works as expected, it might be migrated to the Explorer.
Okay. Just proof of I mean, make sure it works. That if everyone's happy with it, it could still end
Yeah,
up in the Explorer.
yeah, exactly.
All right, let's see. There's looks like a bunch of questions here. I think some of them have already gone off the screen. Let me. Is there a link that people can try this, or is it
Yeah,
still,
sure. I
or do you?
attached it here.
Oh, I see
So
it. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
the way it works for orchestrator right now is we have the orchestrator portal, a subscription portal where delegators, subscribe to a particular orchestrator to get updates from them. So if you're an orchestrator, you need to get your wallet address verified by the team. So you could reach out to me or Liam, I'll tag him on this chat, and we can have your address, verified and added to our database. So yeah, you could delegators can get updates from you knowing that you're a verified orchestrator on the LivePair ecosystem. And it's advisable for you to have it registered to an ENS so you get easily recognized the wallets. The wallets get easily recognized.
Do you need to register your actual orchestrator wallet, or can you use another wallet? That's it seems like to be a question that's coming up a lot, and I'm
Y-
also curious.
Yeah, yeah, you could. I got this question earlier, last year, that most orchestrator use add wallets, so it's not really available on the browser. So you could use any wallet, any web wallet, but it must get verified by the team that you're an
Okay,
orchestrator.
so once it's
To be,
verified, any
yeah,
wallet you could use any wallet. Okay.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
And what's this verification process for? Like, why does it need
Oh,
to be gone through a centralized process? Shouldn't you be able to like look at the orchestrator address and see if it's currently active on chain?
Yeah, yeah, we add a little bit of block implementing it that way. I think it's an issue with the live pair graph, subgraph. We could not query for orchestrator. I can't remember right now what the development block was, but the workaround was to implement it this way for now until we sort it out.
All right, thanks.
Do you get me?
Um, yeah, no. Does that answer your question, Mike?
Yeah, I guess that's fine.
All right.
Yeah.
Define, if you could just hang on 1 second, I just want to make sure we get through all the questions for each first, which I think we've answered most of them. I just want to quickly scroll through these here. Or actually, does anyone else have a question for Aniji before we move on to define? I think everything's been addressed. The questions that came in, you
Okay.
covered them. So, all right, define, you're up. What you got?
Hey guys, I would like to talk today about the direction change that we took on the VTuber and to gather your feedback. So, if you observe the channel, you would have saw that we were trying to integrate the POC on ComfyStream, which as it became clear, it was becoming exceedingly more difficult. And the mistake that was done, it was instead of doing the POC and then integrating into ComfyStream, we tried to do it in ComfyStream, and that didn't go good. But during that time that I was working with ComfyStream, it became also very clear that there are a lot better architectures which do cover very important stuff and elements that the VTuber needs to use. And this is where I started working with Godot, and I came into Godot. So I would talk to you about the two approaches that the VTuber can take, and we will know in Wednesday which one of those will be done and what are the pros and cons of it. So Godot is a game engine like Unreal Engine, and the pros on using Godot is that you can have high fidelity, high resolution, beautiful assets. You have the ability to use Mixamo and to import pre-existing movements and motion maps. Generally, you can also stream that very easily with OBS because it will be a game. So right now, from my research, seems that Godot is the go-to solution. For that, it also offers the best solution because it provides an out-of-the-box framework in which you can have a controller which you can control the VTuber. Now, instead of a controller, because Godot supports WebSockets, you can have a WebSocket which you will communicate, your LLM will communicate with, and it will give the directions. So then, for some context, the LLMs will also get the tweets that messages, so that they know what they need to do next, and also they will get the um, the current motion map key points so that they know what are the legal moves that they can pull off for
I,
the VTuber. So that's option one.
I have a quick question.
Mhm.
I'm not super
Oh,
familiar with how VTubers work, but I did watch a video or two last week, and I saw that people were after they created their character, they were doing something like rigging the character. Is this is that what Godot does? Godot, or I don't know how we would pronounce it.
did you say that they were editing the character
They
on
were
top of that?
rigging the character, like putting like basically like a skeletal structure into it, and then they would move the character based on like moving like
Emotion map, yes.
yeah, okay.
Yes, yes, yes. So this is, it's not called motion map. I don't remember the exact name, but you have, let's say, a skeleton map, how you called it, and in every character that you build, even if it's 2D, needs to have that motion map. Now, if it's 3D, the motion map is way more complex. So, but in Godot Tencent, you already have demos, you already have open source assets. By the way, Godot is open source. It's not like Unreal Engine. So you have a lot of pre-existing material that you can work with. You do not need to make everything ex nihilo. And this is also very nice because we do not need to implement the whole motion. So you can go on the channel. Like I can post later the document here. We have produced an architecture paper for how the motion system will be in detail. So what is on the paper will take time, but for the MVP, we do not need to have the all the spectrum of movements. We can go forward with 50 or 100 movement transitions. And this is way easier to be done in Godot. And what is approach two in case that we have any kind of issues with Godot or our expectations fall short, all of that will be known in Wednesday, and we will already have something again to show, and we will have selected the direction. So the second option is to use it as to create the VTuber as was originally intended as a config UI workflow. And now this is fine if we later want to integrate it with ComfyStream, but at this point in time, we do have some config UI workflows where we can basically create short animations, and we can use that. But in actuality, those kind of animations, they're not very coherent in their transitions. So you can see the diffusion differences from when it moves. It might be that the face is slightly different from the first frame that you started the animation, the last frame. But it's again something that quality-wise, I do believe it will take some time for ComfyUI workflows to become that good. And generally, you have to implement everything while and to trigger with a lot more stuff while in Godot you and other game engines you have them out of the box. So
Yeah, I saw actually
these
a
are
really good
yeah.
workflow that I think would when I just happened to come across it over the weekend. I'm going to paste it in here now
Mhm.
for Comfy that that I saw it was I think it would fit in really nice for building the characters in a consistent way. If you want to take a look at that when you have some time. So is the plan is the goal still that you would like to use Comfy to render out these characters? Because I'm still a little lost in how much Livepeer will benefit from a lot of these Eliza features that you're adding now. Could you guys still hear me?
Yeah, I heard you.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not sure if
Okay.
Define did though.
Define, if you're talking, we lost you. Okay. All right. He's probably having the same problems I was having earlier. Um, and well, he is probably trying to come back. I'll invite him back up real quick, and then we can jump over to Rick and see, get some updates from Rick. Um,
Hello.
Hi there. Yeah, we lost you.
Okay, sorry
I
guys.
don't know if you heard me asking. It sounds like a lot of these features for the agent won't be taking advantage of Livepeer. I was just wondering if the plan is to try to use Livepeer for as much as this is possible,
No, no,
or
it will take advantage because it's the game engine creates a game and the game needs a GPU to run. I mean, if you have low resolution assets like pixel sprites, yes, it can run in even CPU. But if you have high resolution, high quality assets, it needs GPU. And we're very consistent with creating something that will be used out of the box for live. This is uh, the aim. It's not that we're creating something that can be used without a GPU.
all right. Sounds good. I'm curious to see on Wednesday when you have some updates, how things are working out, coming along. Um,
I will also,
yes, sorry.
sorry, I will also be posting an update tomorrow, which will be a lot of hands-on experimentation with Godot. I'm gonna post here, guys, the work. If you can, Pabber, also please post your workflow because
Oh,
I'm always happy like to.
did I not post it? I thought I posted it. Oh yeah, I posted it. It's up. I can
Oh, you
repost
post.
it. Yeah.
Okay, and I will
Oh,
post the
sorry.
workflows that are already um, we have as an alternative in case that code falls in sort of our expectations and also the paper. If you guys have any feedback at all or any worries that you want to be addressed or anything at all, you can write it here. You can write it on this on the channel. I have put a lot of time and research on that. I do believe that game engines are basically the best thing that we can do for a user case. They are very underutilized for the VTuber, which is surprising. If you go on the VTuber space, a lot of people doing uh, live 2D, so they're 2D VTubers with creating from scratch, but not, but to my knowledge, no one utilized game engines, and I do think that's a great opportunity um, to create Lego stacks with other open source systems. Cool. Okay,
Yeah, I'm gonna have
so
to. Well, I think
that's
we're
it
gonna
for
have to look into that. I don't think most of us here are familiar with the technology behind it. So, but it sounds very interesting, promising. Um, all right, we're gonna
any
move on.
questions?
Anybody have any other questions for Define? No, I think you covered it pretty well. Um, I am going to move on to Rick. I just have my notes for you are a bunch of stuff. So whatever you want to talk about, Rick.
No, it was just getting an opinion from the orchestrators on some features that I wanted that I created, and if we want to merge it in. So one of those things was this voting client. I was reviewing it on the DevNet now. It should be ready. So this one, and if people think that's worth it. The other one is the reward call. So this one will do will retry rewards. So I'm trying to get that in as well, but these are outside of my or no regular roadmap. So I do this normally in my free time reviewing those. And the last thing is that people, I said as well that I also wanted to have the orchestrators like RPC failover, and I wanted to check with people if people are interested in having that. For example, we saw that if the RPC from F. Koentman goes down, then mostly some people will issues there. So I think we should add a list there so that it will fail over to another backup RPC.
I think they all sound like great ideas. I'd love to see them all. If you've got time,
Right.
I'd like to see them.
Yeah, so I would like to do the RPC as well myself, but also I'm wondering if we have people in the community that are familiar with Go and that would like as a.
Well, your sound kind of went a little crazy there. I don't know. Did everybody hear that?
Is it better?
Yeah,
No.
did you change mics or something?
Yeah, it sounded like you changed mics, like you got really loud for a minute. I mean, I was able to understand you, but it just I didn't know if everyone else was.
Yeah.
Basically, is there anyone familiar with Go that wants to volunteer to help out with this? Is that what you're asking, Rick?
Yeah, if somebody wants to look at it for a bounty. Otherwise, it will probably fit in one of my weekends because I also want it for my node.
Okay, I don't see anyone volunteering, but maybe if you put up a bounty for it, you'll get maybe
Yeah,
someone
I
will
will
see it.
try in the bounty channel, and
Okay.
otherwise, great. Apart from that, not really any questions from my end. We're still working with the team on the first deliverables. So John already worked really hard on the first deliverables. That is like a dev environment for ComfyStream. Also the documentation there. That's going really well ahead. So we are also currently have a research group, research working group in that currently I'm leading. That Prakash is a part of Ryan, Eric, and Chung, and we are currently also looking at how can we improve the temporal consistency of the real-time pipelines, how can we improve the frames per second, and also working with researchers on that. So we're working with research from Berkeley to really ensure that Livepeer is on the frontier of video models. So I think that's the main update from the AI SPE right now. Also, Brett is still working, helping the agent SPE is also part of John's team. Peter is working on the AI worker, really on the deployment of the real-time workflows. I'm at the side also still doing some batch jobs, looking at on-chain distinction. And apart from that, I will also do a bigger update on the form, both for the research group and also for like the AI SPE. I think that was it from my end.
Yeah, no,
If
I
people
actually have
have questions,
I do.
let me know.
I have a question. What is it about ComfyStream that requires a forked version of Comfy to work? Is there any plan um, to put up a PR to get that into the main release?
Yeah, I can help.
So yeah, John can answer that better than me.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I can help answer that. Um, yeah, so the main issue is there's the hidden switch version of Comfy UI, which has a lot of extra features that we need for ComfyStream. And then that actually can download a UI as well, and we can use just the hidden switch version. Currently, we're using two different versions of Comfy UI, the normal one, Comfy Anonymous repo, and the hidden switch. Those have similar namespaces in them that conflict when you install, and that's why there is a need for two environments. However, we've solved this issue, and Ryan's working on that. He's got a PR up, I believe. Um, I've also got a dev container solution that just uses one environment as well. So we're looking to get that merged here within the next week or so. But another piece to this approach is we're really combining this with an initiative to make ComfyStream a custom node. Uh, so in the future, the user experience would be more like going into maybe Comfy UI Manager, installing ComfyStream, and those just playing nicely together.
Yeah, the reason I asked was I asked someone who's really good at Comfy UI. I mean, they make a lot of YouTube videos and they design a lot of stuff. And I asked them, "Can you make something with ComfyStream? I'm curious to see what you can do with it." And after looking at it, he said, this is just too different than Comfy. It's too much work, and I don't want to go through the hassle of putting all that together." And I know one of the reasons that Comfy was chosen to build all this on was that that's the standard. So I figured, hey, if this guy's working in this, every day, and he doesn't want to go through the, issue of installing all the stuff it needs and installing a separate version of Comfy, and he was like, it's going to screw up my whole machine. um, we're losing a big part of why we're choosing or we're going with Comfy if it doesn't work with just regular Comfy. And like you said, to be able to just install it as a node would make, I think, make the adoption much easier.
Yeah, that's currently the roadmap. We did actually solve the issue a few weeks ago, but one of our requirements was to have like a complete, in this case, Docker image that a non-technical user could just download and run. And part of that requirement was automatically building the engines. And so our solution involved tapping into Comfy UI, the normal version of it, and activating some classes to initiate that build. There was some specific dependencies there that kept us tied into that normal Comfy UI version. Um, so there's been a lot of iterations, but we actually have a solution we're moving forward with that will allow you to use just one environment. Probably in the
So
next week or two would be the ETA on getting that merged.
Oh, sounds good. I look forward to trying that myself, and I'll see if I can get him to throw some workflows together, if he's still interested.
So John, mostly what the hidden switch has is this X3 API endpoint, this embedded client that has more featured rights, and that was the reason that we used that instead of the normal one.
Correct. Yeah, it's really critical to the way that Comfy Stream works to
And
use the
then
hidden switch version.
yeah, and then if we, this was the point that I made today. So if we move over to a custom node, we don't need the embedded client. Could that mean that you could use the regular Comfy there, or you not yet have not yet looked into it? So you will miss a lot of API endpoints, but
Yeah, that's a good question. I need to
yeah,
just wrap my head around that a little bit more before I can answer for sure. But um, we did we had a scoping call on that Friday, and we were looking at a lot of the other aspects. One easy solution would be like the async Comfy client. I think is what it's called, like the
yeah,
embedded Comfy client, because async Comfy client goes completely over a network connection. So those could be
yeah, that
separate environments, but
yeah, that
you
would
know,
be nice for I think the things that Brad is doing as well. And if we don't need all the extra features from hidden switch there, you wouldn't. We could switch over maybe, but
I think there's some value to hidden switch. One of the really interesting things was it has a queue manager built in, and
yeah.
it can even plug into like distributed message queues, um, and it has a lot of support for picking which GPU to run on and things like that. I think it could be really helpful to our overall stack.
Yeah, it has
And
a lot of features there, and do you know if it will be merged back? I'm looking now, but I don't see really a discussion about that. So merged in the main brands, all these features that they implemented.
yeah, I think they're going to maintain a fork of it, as far as I know. But they do have some info there on how to download the UI. So Comfy UI Hidden Switch doesn't come with the UI, but with a certain runtime flag, it'll download the UI with it. And at that point, for a workflow developer, it's really the same user experience as the normal Comfy UI. My understanding is there are some other things that might, I think, like
I think
Laura
that just
support
having
a few other.
that dual environment, a comfy environment and then a comfy stream environment, and there's going to be some subtle differences between, versions and stuff. I think that just makes it very difficult for people that are currently using comfy to move to it. I mean, if it's a brand new like video customer that's only doing video and they're not doing that in current comfy, then I think it might work there. But I mean, is that the target user? Is the video specific developer, not necessarily the comfy developer?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It does add a lot of friction, and uh, I know from experience and just trying to get up to speed with our initial, prototype of Comfy Stream over the past few months. So, like that's really what drove the need for the dev container. Um, But yeah, going forward with ComfyStream being a custom node, that's going to be much better user experience. So, and
So
in
Yeah,
order
the
to be able to
I'm
install these
not
custom
by
nodes, it
any
has to
means
be with
an
Arm.
expert comfy user, but after I have my normal comfy, and then I had all the this was before the Docker container came out. I had my comfy stream, and then the special comfy version, and I was getting confused on even where I even was and which one am I using right now. So it was definitely for me a lot of friction to try and get that going, and a lot of these people are also designers, and their technical skills are decent, but I think having it is simple to use in their normal workflow will go a long way in increasing adoption or making it easier for users to adopt. So I'm hoping to see a node that you can just, like you said, install it with the manager and good to go.
Yeah, yeah,
and
me
what,
too. Thank you for the feedback on that.
Do you
John,
know
will
the
that then work in
specs?
the normal?
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
go ahead, Rick.
I just want to know, does that then work in the normal conf UI, or is that still then the hidden switch? Because you say the hidden switch can be the UI there, so you can get the UI, but you still need hidden switch for ComfyStream to work then.
Right. Yeah, you still need hidden switches at the core of
Yeah.
ComfyStream. It uses the embedded Comfy client class from that, which is not in the normal one. However, you can download the UI with Comfy UI hidden switch. If that makes sense. Um, I might I might toss closed PR in here for that. Kind of just I don't know if it would give any clarity, but this one's like really old, so it's closed. But
So I guess
um,
I was still a little confused. It won't be then just a node that you can use in regular comfy. You'll still need to have this hidden switch that you're talking about also installed.
No, well, so the thinking is you'll be able to use any version of Comfy UI. So let's say you get like the Windows portable version of Comfy UI, for example.
Right.
As long as Torch Compile and the other custom nodes will install there, then you should be able to run all of our workflows with pretty much any version of
Okay.
Comfy
Okay.
UI, if I understand correctly. I'm kind of speaking more from, from a technical perspective of um, the development journey, how we got
Mm,
here, and it like for that draft PR, close one, the change was made to where it just uses hidden switch comfy UI, and then it downloads the web UI files
yeah.
with it, and then you have a full setup that you can pretty much use out of the box.
So to recap, for the end user, there will be no difference because the UI is Comfy UI, to understand correctly. We only need the hidden switch backend because there are the things the extra features that we need for running the real-time stuff. Is that correct? Am I
Correct.
assuming? Cool.
Yeah.
Does
Yeah.
that answer your question, Papa Bear?
I think so. I mean, we think that would also the stuff the sorry, I forgot what it was called. The was hidden switch would would hopefully or possibly be able to be installed through the manager, so someone could still use use the comfy UI that they already have installed and not have to go through a whole new
Yeah. Yeah. So
installation. And
Um, John, you can, I think if you have a custom node, you can run any custom process. So you could run, I think, hidden switch as the backend, then block the conv UI there or something like that, and then it would still run as if you, for example, in the control you start the stream, it would go through the backend of hidden switch, but people use the UI from conv UI there, I think.
yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
So for, I think probably for the end user, like in this case yourself, there will be not much difference. They just see hidden switch. I think the only thing that John and his team then to have to work out, I think, is ensure that it works, that the dependencies, that there are no conflicts, that the interface is correctly switching there. But in the end, that should, I think, fix the problem for your friend as well.
yeah, sounds
Yeah.
good.
It's
I think that probably will solve it. I don't want to get
like
too deep into really trying to understand it, but it sounds like that will uh, get to the point where I'm looking for.
essentially, I think we've added what Ryan's approach is, adds init files to Comfy Stream so that it will make sure that it picks up the right version of its Comfy UI package for Hidden Switch, so it doesn't accidentally pull the normal Comfy UI namespaces, if that makes sense. and then it'll install Comfy. So you will have them both installed, but it's more of a package, and you're not really thinking about it, and it's all in one environment.
I think all being in one environment is the main thing
Yeah.
that will make it easier to use. Great. Let's see. Do I have any other? Does anyone else have any topics that I missed?
I do have one quick
Oh,
update just to add.
yes.
Um, so I've been working with one of our contributors to get audio support and frame skipping added to Comfy Stream. So I just completed my review of that today, and I'll have some other members of the AISP team just look it over. It's a pretty big change, but I think we're pretty close. We'll be merging that this week, and this will go into our next release. It's a really great feature because if you've worked with Comfy Stream, you see there's a little bit of lag and delay for the frames. So now you'll get like a real time, as you move in the camera, there's no delay, there's no lag to it. So it's a good user experience. We've also added the audio support. Um, right now it's limited to like you can run audio or video. Running both together has some issues that we're going to fix in a future version. There's actually a hidden switch version bump that we need to solve that. But yeah, just
Sounds
want to
like
give a
there's a
quick
lot.
update.
Yeah, sounds like a lot of progress going on over there. We're excited to see
Yeah,
it
the
all.
audio part is really cool. We have like a pitch shifter put in there, so it just kind of makes it sounds like you've inhaled helium or something. But it's pretty cool to play with.
Cool. Let's see here. So yeah, I think that's going to be a relatively. I'm going to pack this into an hour this week, unless anyone else has anything else they want to add.
Um, just wanted to add, like,
Oh
if
yeah,
you're
sorry, Jason. I forgot about your thing. I do have you here. SPA,
yeah, no worries.
SPE thoughts. Yeah, go ahead, Jason. Ask away.
Yeah, no worries. Just we were at the final stage of the proposal and just wanted to let guys know if there's still someone who hasn't checked it out and just wanted to have a feedback before it goes to the on chain, just to have everything cleared out and
Yeah, I
getting
mean, I
support.
read through it. I think it's a great idea. I think we should definitely be supporting the developers of the software that we're using.
And we received like great feedback from the community and also like Doug and everyone, and then we revised the proposal too.
Yeah, no, and I really appreciate you doing that, listening to the feedback and making changes, and then coming here to follow up and make sure that everyone's seen it. And it all looks good to me. I mean, I support it.
But if everyone's on the same page, then I guess that's the good point.
Yeah. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Well, I mean, they can
Yeah,
speak at the
yeah, yeah.
voting, but yeah.
It's your opportunity now. Speak up.
Yeah, you vote with your wallet, no, you with your voice. So, I don't know. But yeah,
Yeah, no.
and I think there was like some topic regarding the Explorer if anyone wants to.
Oh yeah, yeah. Wow, thank you. That's my topic. Yes, the Explorer. So what when we were working on it with the cloud just to add the performance stuff, we noticed there was a lot of old packages and stuff in there, and I don't know if we wanted to just have some sort of a discussion about talking about what kind of things everyone's seen in there that's old, what needs to be updated, are there security issues that we should be concerned about? Will things completely stop working when some stuff I forgot. I mean, it's been a while, but I know some stuff was like really, really old that Mike and Speedy were telling me about. So I don't remember what it was specifically, but I mean, there were some really old packages in there.
Yeah, so I had the same problem here, and I already updated a lot of these dependencies. I ran into issues with this design systems, and I think Jason now fixed that. So after Jason's work has been merged, we have the ability to update other packages, and also this will also enable like slint that has been broken, so it will lead to better code there. There's a lot of redundant code as well in the Explorer right now, a lot of linting errors as well. So I think the next step forward is really to review Jason's work there, get that merged in, and after there maybe we can have a discussion between the cloud team and the whole community here on seeing how we want to approach the rest of improving the Explorer experience for developers mostly.
All right.
So if Mike also is available or Speedy to also look at this pull request, so I will review it from Jason. But it would be nice to have set more eyes on it so that we can ensure that the Explorer is moving in a way that we want. And also after this is done, I think then we can do bounties on other things. Like I said, the reason to vote. Some people want to do this not in the client but on the Explorer side. And then maybe Anisha can also, if the chat system works in the live prepare units, it's easier with a cleaned up code base to also add it to the Explorer there. And maybe people have other features they want in the Explorer. For example, what I've been wanting in the Explorer for a long time is not only showing orchestrators, but also showing stats from gateways. I know that Mike already has a portal on that. Marco has some tools to see it already, but would be nice in my opinion to also have an Explorer so that everything is in one place, not only the gateway side or the orchestrator side, but also the gateway side. But I think first reviewing the work by Jason could give already a better starting point for other people working on it, because then we can, after that, fix the linting errors. It will remove a lot of redundant codes, then slowly try to upgrade all the packages. And also this could also be a bounty again for somebody to take on, and then we can review it as the core contributor group. So are there features that people really want to see in the Explorer, for example? I'm curious.
I have one feature to request.
Should.
I proposed it before, but I don't know if it got like really any traction. There's different thoughts around it, but like our treasury proposals, when I go to a treasury proposal, my first thought is like maybe there would be a comment section or something, where I can kind of see right there like the responses. I could even imagine like maybe like React or something. I don't know, I guess votes or that, but just being able to, or maybe even a field where we link directly to the forum post, just some part like a template to where we always have the discussion linked to the treasury proposals.
That's a good one. Also, that's what I think Stable Labs wanted to do as well, having this protocol in chain place so that people first do the form proposal, then there is a link to the form proposal. People can have the discussions there. I think that's a good feature to add. Also, I think one of the features related to that is the voting mechanism. That's currently, somebody was doing that under a grant, but that's stalled. And it would be nice to see at least the voting on the orchestrator page and also this overview. So I will keep, if that grant stalls, I will discuss with Anne if we can have it submitted again so that somebody can look at this. Yeah, I agree with Mike. Fixing the dependencies will be fun.
Speaking of the treasury, and I don't know if anyone's familiar enough with the contract behind that, but I noticed that it looks to be adding the abstain people that abstained voting into a for vote. I don't know if that's just a display thing that's happening on the Explorer or if the contract is not correct in this counting abstaining as voting for.
I think that's how it's implemented. No, it should not be 4, but it will count as the people that voted. So for your total participation rate.
Yeah, I noticed that like when it shows the percentage of people that voted in favor of it. Let me see what the actual term it uses is.
Oh yeah, total support.
Support. Yeah, that includes the abstain in that total there. So I'm
Really?
again for the display, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but if the contract is going based off that, that could be an issue.
No, I
especially
think it's I think it's a design decision in the Explorer, but we can look into
Oh,
it.
that was a decision. I
I
wonder.
think, but I'm not really sure, so we'll write it down.
Okay, yeah, I just thought that was worth bringing up. So, it seems a little awkward to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe someone could create the Explorer SPE and then run it then.
Right.
That would be nice. Just
Yeah,
maintaining the Explorer and stuff.
that would be nice if we have an Explorer.
Yeah, the cloud group looked at doing something similar to that because When we left it after the AI performance leaderboard was added, there's so many places in there that need so much work to fix things, and it's really just, you can see that there's years going by now and no one's working on it. So I think at some point there's got to be some real funding gathered together to work on this. Otherwise, the face of our protocol looks ugly.
Yeah, 100%. It would be
But
a
there's also the thing
company.
like, do we what's the priority? Do we want to have small bounties and fix small things, or like get a lump sum money and then
Well,
fix everything?
I
I
think,
think there's a critical problem right now, though. Like right now, I think it still runs on Node 14, and I think the
Mm.
Vercel deployment is end of life of Node 14, like
yeah,
this year.
I got it to upgrade to 15 for now.
Oh, so then you could at least, you can get it to run on Vercel on 15. So when the
Yeah,
14
it's
ends of
working fine.
life, it doesn't just.
But
Okay, well that's important. I mean, that by itself is super important just to keep it running. But
but
outside of that, I think there's no more critical. I mean, I'm still concerned with like the Web3 versions
yeah,
of the thing, because people are using their wallets to connect to the Explorer, and if that stuff has got security holes in it and vulnerabilities or just old ways and slow ways of doing things, you want to just upgrade that too. I think that's another critical area.
those need big overhaul. I tried like this weekend, like yesterday. I think I was just like checking to see if I can just upgrade to Ethers v6 and then GraphQL to the latest version. I think it's like 10 or something. But nope, that's like a huge change. You need like a lot of
Yeah,
time. But
you
yeah,
got to find the oldest version that's secure, right? Like whatever that is, you want to make sure that, like, if there's a dot release on what you have right now and it fixes any security vulnerabilities, then if you can just minimally upgrade it, that's the most important part. But 9 times out of 10, you're going to need at least a major release upgrade. But you got to just keep going up the chain, as up the newer versions, and then once
and
you
that's
get
the
to a
thing. Like
breaking version, you got to back off again.
that's why I think if we have like an SPE that just keeps track of all the dependencies and security vulnerabilities and stuff, and then just upgrades it, maintains it over a long time, that would be nice. But if it's just like small maintenance, I don't think it would need like a really money. But we are lagging behind like couple of years. Some dependencies there are like 7 years or 4 years, and those are like, I don't know, like no one's maintaining them. But I guess they're working fine for now. But
Well, Doug mentioned, in conversation about this, it was like, you know, the old UI is kind of stale now. It needs to be revamped, and I think it's got to focus, as he put it, um, you know, on the analytics and growth of the protocol. Like it's got to be based on, you know, and a focus around AI, the new initiatives. Right now, AI is not even aside from the performance leaderboard that has no data because they're not running any tests in production. They don't have any of that data out there to fill the Explorer. So I don't know.
yeah, I think I would agree that having somebody looking after this, it could be a small SPE as well with just smaller funding there, but somebody from the community that really is responsible for this project is really important. So what I tried to do in the last weeks is really look at grants funding, AISPE funding, to at least fix these critical things, or at least, like I said, this dependency on Vercel. I wanted to have that upgraded, clean up the code base a little bit so that people can work on top of it. But really big changes, like you say, a big overhaul of the UI, that should be, I think, an SPE as well. And I think there's a lot of benefit of having that. We just need somebody that wants to
Yeah, but
take.
it's not going to be small though. And that's the thing, is like this is
Not.
using the current stack. This is an uphill battle, and it
Yeah.
doesn't stop, right? It's a constant thing. You always got to keep updating things and making sure they're secure. So I think it's one of those
Yeah.
things where it seems trivial, right? Like, oh, it should be easy to keep Explorer up to date, but in its current state and the effort to keep it in a good state, like, other people were just putting code into the app, and over time it kind of just got a little crufty in there. But like, to have somebody like steer the ship for the software, and the versions and the deployments, make sure that it works, and also the user experience. That's where a lot of that stuff becomes, big projects. So
Yeah,
I think if
I
there's an SCE, there should be, those are the categories right there.
Yeah, I agree. So if you want to maintain the current code, fix some small things, then it's small. But if you really want to have it as it in a sense is the portal into Livepeer's ecosystem and really have that experience be really good, be up to date with trends, yeah, then you really need a dedicated team behind it, but with expertise and eyes on the problem. And so I agree. Then it becomes a big problem.
Well,
And
we continue to have a discussion. I think that's something on the core dev call.
Yeah.
We looked at it on the cloud perspective. It's one of those things where it's just a lot of work, a lot of things involved in that, and see how that ends up turning out.
Yeah, if you guys want to take it on, and then that would be great. And you can decide for yourselves there. In the meantime, we can do it with bounties. Try to improve it a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's probably the prudent thing right now is get the immediate concerns addressed quickly, and then maybe some longer term solution comes out.
So the immediate concerns that I've written down now is really the dependency updates, especially related to all the Web3 libraries. Apart from that, cleaning up the code base so that other people can or at least do pull requests again without having to dive in too deeply. That's the things I have written down right now. So if you have other points, let me know. Also, Mike, if you have things that you see need to be improved in the Explorer, just let me know. I can work with Anne and Rich to get funding for this improvement work.
I think right now the other part that's probably most hard for people to get started is the environment file. Like, there's like 15 properties in there. You need private keys for different, RPC, different stuff like that. Just knowing what they are, knowing where they're used, and knowing if they're required, that might go a long way to simplifying more developers' access to it.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think you already improved it a lot. I think before this,
Yeah,
it
we
was
yeah,
unclear what
definitely.
everything was. So I'm curious from Jason. So how was the experience with that after the improvements that Mike and his team did?
I think uh, for the environment variables,
Yeah.
that was like I didn't get any private keys from the library. I had to take my own. But yeah, you need to sign up to like a different. You need to sign up to Subgraph to get your own
Yep,
key if you
yep.
see the. Sorry.
No, I was just
Mike was
agreeing.
saying, yeah,
Yep.
we had to do the
Yeah,
same thing, and
yeah,
it
you have
makes
to
it hard to work
get
on.
to the subgraph, and then you also need to find the Wallet Connect project ID. I didn't even know that was a thing, and so that was like a little bit of a
Yeah.
little bit of research. But yeah, but I mean, if there's well, that's the thing about API keys, you can't really share in the repo. But like,
Yeah.
uh,
What you
Yeah.
could do here is you could use stubs for that, for example. To so have a flag that all the data you see in the Explorer is like coming from like a predefined database. That you don't need this API key. That would be one fix I can think about, so that
Well,
you
I
don't.
think the easiest answer would be if just knowing where those features are used in the UI, right? Like if you know where they are, and then just not having one means that a little widget, shows not available or something, right? Like just knowing where they're used so that you can actually, just put something simple in place of it. Like you said, it don't even have to be a real database or anything. It just could be not available. Like there's a
Yeah, no,
pinata key or something like that. Like I'm pretty sure that's a small place in the UI that most people don't use anyway. So that
yeah, no,
might be
no.
the other part is analytics. That's what's one of the things that I was going to say. I mentioned that before is how do you know what people are using? How do you know what part of the application is getting traction, or what functions are being used inside the app that allow you to say, hey, a lot of people are staking now, or maybe they're not staking, maybe they're unbonding. Like just being able to not say like track specifically who's doing what, just put like know where in the site people are using it and know what functions they're doing in the site so that you can focus on those things. Maybe like analytic reports. If they're
I think
popular,
Vercel
maybe you want to bring those forward.
does Vercel track those because they're like they have the functions for.
Not that detailed, only like the usage for, I think. And you have to enable that as well, but they use it on mobile devices, desktop devices for certain pages. And I don't know if we have that enabled even. I can check.
Yeah.
It might
Well,
be
Uh,
from.
again, whether you can get it from a predefined source like Vercel, if they have it baked in, great. But like just being able to say to, if you're using Livepeer Explorer, these, we can look at what capabilities are people most, using, and maybe there might even be some insights to say where the most problems are too, like if they're having a lot of issues. But that insight is usually something that you want to have and explore, because again,
yeah,
it's also a sign of growth too. Like how many users, how many sessions do you have? Like just having that user data, that's an important thing.
yeah, 100%. I agree with you.
Also,
That's an
during the
issue.
setup, like I think there was like a, I don't know if that was a bug. Like you really need the Infura like API key. If you, I used Alchemy and from like community RPC, but then you couldn't interact with the contract because it was like sending everything to Infura and it would just like blocked.
Well,
I
no,
got
Yeah,
there
that's
stuck for like really long. I didn't have Infura key. I had like Alchemy and stuff, but like that took me like a week to figure out why can I interact? Like I have the keys. Oh my God, that was like a
Well, I'm surprised that you have that problem, because if you look in the property file, we created a RPC URL. Like if you don't provide the Infura key and you just provide an RPC URL, it will just use that custom URL. Like you don't need to use Alchemy, or you can use Alchemy. You can use uh, you know, you can use the FDK node. You know what I mean? Like the community node. Like if you just pass the RPC URL, it should
I
just
did
work.
that
You don't
and
need
like
the key.
for everything else it worked. It wouldn't work with delegating, undelegating, or withdrawing fees. It would work for everything else. Like it would work for
yeah,
connecting wallet. It would work for like looking
Wow.
through trader data. It wouldn't work when you really want to interact with the
Oh,
contract
so
itself, like
it's
the
hard
bonding.
coded somewhere then. Yeah, it must
Yeah,
be
and
hard
then
coded
like
somewhere else in the app that we didn't find. That's crazy.
I
yeah, I
created a
was like
for
that.
this.
That took me a long time, like until like just like why can't it work? Like I have everything. So yeah, that was weird. But yeah, that should be somewhere like that was just like I don't think that's a big issue. Just I didn't know that was the issue, so that was the issue for me.
Yeah, I
Once
didn't
you
either.
know
We didn't
it's
really do
simple.
any contract interactions. We just were using the subgraph and showing API data. We weren't actually interacting with the smart
Okay.
contract. But geez, that's crazy. Well,
I
there's landmines everywhere, man.
Yeah. So Mike, I created a pull request to your pull request when I run into the same problem, I think. So I can find it again and now rebase it on the actual Explorer, because there was one hard-coded value that you guys didn't find. But I think we forgot to merge that in before.
Um,
also
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
I didn't
like
actually. I didn't even see it, to be honest with you. I didn't even know that because we weren't testing that part. So if it was hard coded, that was just because we couldn't find it all.
yeah.
also
So I
other matrix for like orchestrators behind the separate API, like the transcoding matrix.
You mean the performance data?
Yeah, performance matrices. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. The deployment says like this deployment is no longer available for the one that's in the Explorer.
uh, yeah, that needs to be merged still one pull request, right, Mike? It's on the go live per site, or how does that work?
No, I think the from the Explorer perspective, it's just there's an API URL for the for the data they're fetching, but you know
It needs to be changed to yours.
well, that's yeah. If you want to get AI performance, see, that's the part that's kind of broken right now with the way the leaderboards in place. Is the transcoding data comes from Livepeer Inc. because they're doing all the testing, and we don't have transcoding testing like that in place. Like we could never have gotten that. We can't get their stream tester stuff working, so we just aren't testing transcoding. But the AI jobs are being tested by the cloud, so we're doing performance testing, and we have our own API that we run to manage that. But that
Mhm.
API is not being used in Explorer. It could be. If someone wants to use it, they can, right? It's available. So Explorer can just make a variable that has that URL in it, and then now you have AI performance data showing up in Explorer. So it's all, the code is already there. So you just need to use that API. I can
Yeah, I mean
share
that
our,
was the intent, was to use our data, but
yeah.
I forgot who from Livepeer wanted to run their own tests and use that instead, which for whatever reason they never implemented. So that's why we're not seeing any data on the
Third-party
official
tests are
Explorer.
better.
Well, our API is funded. We're funded through the summer, so we're going to run that thing, and I don't see a reason why we're going to turn it off because right now the funding's there to pay for it. So I think it would be better to have it show up in Explorer right now with the data that we're
Mhm.
that's paid for,
I
right?
mean,
Like,
the data
yeah,
exists, why not use it?
and paid, community paid for. You know what I
Right.
mean? I think that's the most important part. Like, this is why it's there. So if it's just as simple as putting a variable in and then giving you a URL, I think that's probably the best way to start.
Yeah, so I think if you can create a pull request to separate these two endpoints, I think it will be beneficial anyway because it can be
Yeah,
two
you want to
tests.
show the data.
Yeah, so if you can create that pull request, I can review it, I can approve it, I can then request somebody from the Inc team who is running the other tester to also look at it, and they can merge it. I don't
Oh
see
yeah,
any
man.
big
It's gonna be
problems.
like, it'll be like 3 lines of code, man. It's not gonna be. It's
Yeah, let's do
super
that.
simple.
Let people see that you have delivered this already. How many months ago? A lot of months ago.
Yes, man. Many, many months ago. But
This
that's
was
why we built our UI tool as well. So, like, even though we can't get the ball rolling there, we still can showcase the data. People can take a look at it. Now, obviously, you want to explore. You want everything in Explorer, but when you can't do it, then you throw up your own UI and use it.
Yeah, this
It's
was
kind
a really helpful discussion. I wrote everything down. I have to hop off,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
no, that's fine. I can't spend all day talking this stuff either. But it was a good conversation for sure.
Yeah, really important topic. And Jason, thank you so much for starting the work on the Explorer so that we have at least the updated codes that we don't have the risk from Vercel deprecating version Explorer not working. And let's
You know.
first start working on bounty. So, Mike, if your team has IDs or anybody from the community that you want in the Explorer, I can work with the ecosystem team to see if we have funding for that. We can have people work on it and have it reviewed in the Explorer so that we, in this incremental way, already improve it. And maybe we can have an AI and an Explorer SPE. So if somebody is listening, interested, or the cloud team wants to take it on, that really takes it to the next level, improves the UI, makes it more up to date with the current trends in the Livepeer system.
Yeah, I think that's the UI part's the one that's big for me. It's like, I don't like doing
Good.
designs. Like, I'm not a user experience type person, so that would have to be outsourced somehow. So
And
I
have you
think that's probably the
tried?
biggest sticking point. That might be the separate thing on its own.
Yeah, and have you tried working with the design systems? It's also
Yeah,
quite
yeah, no, again, I think there's easy ways to go about coming up with a design system, but I just think it's one of those things where you really need to have somebody focused
yeah.
on what type of experience they're going to want people to go through, and even just colors and what things look like. Just it's definitely going to require some, and I'm sure Ink's got a lot of say over what that's going to be. So I think it's their brand, right? Like, I think right
Mhm.
now that should be something that is provided to the SPE. It should be, this is the brand, this is how it should look. Not maybe like give some highlights about certain, areas, but give the color palette, the different widgets that you might want to use to go about, or at least give some guidelines for it. But it should be, I think, something that they're going to have a big say in it. But outside of that, like hosting it and deploying it, those are you know, and the maintenance part. Now remember the maintenance part. That's the big one, right? Like, that is a big boy there. Keeping those dependencies up to date and upgrading it and all that. Like, that's a major effort. But I don't think that requires. That's probably not our concern at all. It's really that UI part.
I think if Ink can like handle the design system repo, and then someone from the community as a SP can handle the Explorer, because I don't think Explorer is like a brand, because Livepeer.org is like their main website and how they handle, and Explorer is like a portal into how the network is doing, how everything else is doing. I don't think that needs a lot of overhaul in the design, like look of it, style of it, because I think it's pretty good. Just need maintenance for a while.
Well, I guess yeah, maybe some of the look and feel can remain the same or just be refreshed a little bit. But I think a lot of the other parts are, the on-chain data is very limited, right? There's not a lot of data there. So when you look at showing AI transactions, for example, there's no real way of doing that. And there's no way to fetch the data without like cobbling together a whole bunch of data sources. But to do it in a web API, it's probably not the best way to do it if you're going to design it. But again, I think those are bigger challenges, but also important because I think, Rick, the data aggregator stuff we've been talking about for a while, that's another thing that could really transform the way you use the Livepeer Explorer. But again, that's another, I'm not going to continue on this combo. We've been at it for a while.
Yeah, I agree. This is important. Thank you for all your input here.
Yeah, man, no doubt. You got you too as well. Definitely a hard work. All right, Papa. I think
Right.
we
And
beat
on
that one
that,
up pretty good.
yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. I think a lot of interesting topics came up, a lot of info came out. Um, I recorded this, so I will get it over to Titan, and hopefully he'll post it. And if we need to reference this, we should have everything to go back to.
All right, sounds good,
Thanks
man.
everyone for coming. See you guys all next week, and
Thank you, everyone.
have a good week.
Have a good
Have a
night,
good one.
or good day, or good morning.
Thank you for hosting.
My pleasure.